Welcome to theory lesson. We're going to look at section 5, effects of ICT and working patterns. So what I'd like you to do right now is to think ahead completely tasks. You can pause this video now and think about these things and how you would do them in modern day life. Okay, welcome back. So how would you speak to a friend across town? You probably thought of technology for most of these. So how would you speak to a friend that lives across town? You would probably WhatsApp them. You may social network message them, text message them, or phone them. For your brother or sister's birthday present that's in a few days, you'd probably order it online, maybe Amazon. Your business studies coursework needs to be handed in, but you're going to feel ill, won't be in school tomorrow. So you won't want it to be late. So maybe you would attach it in an email and send it to your teacher. Mum needs to pay for school dinners. How would she do this? Particularly in the UK, school dinners are now actually paid for online using a system called Parent Pay. So many children do not actually go into school anymore with dinner money. They would actually pay using their fingerprint, or if schools don't use the fingerprint system, they would probably, parents would probably pay by direct debit. So today we're going to look at how computers have led to a number of employees changing their working patterns and how their jobs are now flexible. So, history of ICT and recent developments. So, think back to the 90s, okay, and how maybe ask your parents how would they do things in the 90s. So, for example, shopping centres like this, people would go to, and they would always be very busy. These days, people tend to shop a lot online for many reasons. They may find things cheaper online, or maybe they like the fact that they get delivered. Banking. It was not unusual in the 90s to actually leave your workplace and go to your local bank and queue up. There would be queues outside just like the one you see. And during their lunch breaks, people would either withdraw money or deposit money in their banks. So now people tend to bank online. So you can bank through your computer, through your mobile phone. And these days people tend not really need to go to the bank to actually pay bills, deposit money or anything like that. There's other ways of doing things. Like, for example, I would pay, when I was living at my mum's, I used to pay rent to her and I paid it through her mobile phone number. In the 90s, email did not widely exist. It was used a lot during work. Okay, people did not have personal email addresses, and instant messenger did not exist at all. So these days, people now find all sorts of ways of getting in touch with each other. WhatsApp messaging service, Skype video calling, Viber, as well as the traditional telephone. There is many ways to get in touch with people these days, not just email and not just phoning. Now, documents. If people wanted to sign contracts or send documents very quickly, it is still used, but people used to use a fax machine. They was in the home. People don't really use them in the home anymore. They don't exist in the home, and but they are still used in businesses. If contracts need to be signed instantly, people can fax them, or if people don't fax them, they can scan them. But the fax machine still has a place in business. Now people just send things. You can attach things by scanning it and sending it through email, and then you can print things, sign them, scan them again and send them back through email. So times have changed an awful lot in the last 20 to 25 years. So changing work patterns. Now, computer controlled warehouses only need a handful of staff to operate them. So one time production lines in factories used to be hundreds and hundreds of people. So that would actually be a lot of wages that they'd need to pay. Now there's only a handful of staff that need to operate machinery. Robots are now common on production lines and they replace human workers. Old skills in the printing industry are now very much out of date. These people used to be very highly skilled in printing, and they were very good at checking things, and it was quite a dangerous job. Now it can be done a lot faster by machinery. And as a result of developments in ICT, some jobs have completely disappeared and they simply do not exist anymore. So even down to exams. So if there's multiple choice exams, these can now either be done on paper, where they can be run through a computer system and a computer system will check your marks, or they can be done online. So nobody needs to mark them anymore. So, but some jobs that have been lost, new jobs have been created. There's more demand for computer technicians. These are highly skilled people that know a computer inside out, and they can repair almost any problems. Programmers, there's a huge call for programmers. Technology needs to move on. And although people use a lot of technology, they're actually trying to find people that are skilled in programming, which is difficult to find. Web designers, at one point there was a massive boom in web designers. More and more companies at one point went online. So they needed people that could design these websites. And there was a huge gap in the market. Huge companies like Amazon did not have a website. Waterstones did not one time have a website. Marks and Spencer's, Sainsbury's, Asda's, Hippodino, and lots of other huge companies did not have websites, and they needed these sites designed. So now they exist. Systems analysts. Due to the ever-changing technology, where desktops are becoming more advanced and tablets are becoming more commonplace, some tablets in some cases are taking over laptops. Smartphones are becoming faster, much more advanced. Many more apps are being designed that are making people's lives a lot easier. Companies need to keep up. So systems analysts will come into a company, they will look at the systems, and if they need to, they will either change them or improve them. This even comes down to software. So, for example, some companies have completely gone over to Apple. Microsoft have come out with much more advanced software that needs updating, and the same with Google Docs, and also Chromebooks are now existing, where everything and the whole operating system is online and it's free. So changes in work patterns have led to learning on a job. So some people's work changes, so their job still exists, but the whole nature of their job may change. So rather than lead to them losing their job, companies have retrained them to make them more advanced with technologies. So one time, the secretary would use a typewriter. They needed to be retrained on how to use a computer. Travel agents, that would be bankers. People would actually go into the bank, there would be cashiers. So now there's actually people on hand to help with mobile banking. So when customers come into the banks, they show them how to set up mobile banking. They help the customer, discuss things with the customer, and actually make them more aware. Travel agents, when you used to book a holiday, you used to go into a travel agent. The travel agent would find a holiday for you. You would book the holiday, and they would print the documents there and then. Now, travel agents seem to work either over the telephone or some of them in store using computers. And the same with printers. These were highly skilled people, and designers. These were highly skilled people that were very, very good artists. Now would use a CAD software to design all sorts of things, buildings, rooms, and many other furniture and so on. So where one time they would have drawn these on pieces of paper and created blueprints, they now actually do this all on a computer. And there's an example there as well. So for example, you can see that the person's drawing there, and now they can use a graphics tablet. So does changing the work patterns and changing people's jobs and bringing in ICT make better quality products? Here's a car production line. So, for example, one time there would have been hundreds of manual workers that would have been welding these into place. Now robots do it, and a handful of staff are controlling the robots by the computer. As you can see, it can be a very, very dangerous job. So this could be saving lives. Maybe many, many workers used to get injured and would be out of work. So the same with moving on with mobile phones, mobile technology. It's easier to get hold of people. So this would have been a mobile phone in the 80s, and then in the 90s, and now we have the smartphones. Okay, so are they creating better quality products? Well, they're certainly creating them faster. Whether they're better quality or not, I don't know. But then you could argue. One time I would have had a phone like the one here in the middle. If I'd have dropped it, it would not have broken. But I've dropped 3 of these in 1 year. So robots don't get tired. They work consistently. And machines are controlled by the computer can be more reliable than the humans, because you can program the computer to the exact points where you'd actually want them to put things, to weld things, to place things. Humans may not do that. So, selling goods online, the advantages. So now e-commerce has taken over some businesses. There are businesses that have, like for example, in the UK, there was a shop called Crisp, and they did not have a website, but we'll discuss that in a moment. So it opens the market to customers nationally and internationally. Some companies now trade in other countries, and it enables smaller companies to compete with larger companies. Reduces in staff on a high street, so it reduces the cost. So some companies are not on the high street at all. Like there's a website simply called notonthehighstreet.com. And it provides an option of 24-hour shopping at no additional cost. The competition is stiffer, of course. There's always someone that will undercut you. And there's always someone out there as well that will basically find your products, maybe buy them from you and sell them on. So with increased competition, local companies have had to reduce their workforce. This has put people out of work. And the cost of restructuring and moving to e-commerce may not be a smooth one and can require a huge degree of investment. And the customer concerns are that if there's nobody to talk to and there's nobody to basically deal with your complaints, who do they go to? And also, if they feel that they're not happy with your website, they will just go somewhere else. Now, increased dependency on the internet has become a problem. So, for example, Argos was one time only in a catalogue. Now they have to have a website. Crisp was a massive clothing brand in England. They did not have a website. You could not buy online. They're now out of business. And the government have come up with a website in the UK where you can do everything, such as apply for a driving licence, pay your council tax and your travel costs, everything all online. Working hours, part-time contract working hours fall below the part-time contract. So flexible hours, you can choose when you want to work, and job sharing. So this has all become possible because of online. And the same with compressing your hours, so you can work longer days with more days off. Okay, hit pause now and try and answer this question. Check your answers, hit pause and read the answers and see if you've answered correctly. Hit pause now and write down the ones that you think are the 4 benefits of using a robot car on production line. Here are the answers. Did you get it right? Hit pause and try this exam question. Hit pause and please check your answers. No cheating.